Welcome to this exciting and detailed video where we explore the top 4 most valuable Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel coins. Small 5-cent coins that many people overlook, yet some of them are worth a surprising amount of money today. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home Monticello on the reverse. While billions of these coins have been produced over the decades, a few rare dates and special mint varieties have become true treasures among collectors. If you have old nickels stored away, you might want to take a closer look. Let's get started. First up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1974 stands quietly as a piece of everyday history. At first glance it looks like an ordinary nickel, slightly worn, darkened by time, and perhaps overlooked by many people who never imagined that a simple coin like this could one day become the focus of collectors and treasure hunters. When this nickel first entered circulation in 1974, it was simply another coin used in daily life across the United States. People used it to buy snacks, pay for parking meters, or make small purchases at local stores. Millions of these coins were minted and distributed, becoming part of the rhythm of everyday transactions. Because of this, most people never stopped to consider that some of these nickels might one day hold a remarkable story and unexpected value. The design of the Jefferson nickel has remained one of the most recognizable in American coinage. On the front of the coin appears the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and one of the nation's most influential historical figures. The portrait carries a calm and thoughtful expression that reflects Jefferson's intellectual legacy and leadership in shaping the early United States. Turning the coin over reveals the detailed image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. The building stands proudly in the center of the reverse design, representing both architectural beauty and historical importance. For decades, this image has been a symbol of American heritage, reminding collectors and everyday users alike of Jefferson's lasting influence. The 1974 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. During many years of production, coins from Philadelphia did not carry a visible mint mark, meaning the absence of a letter beneath the date indicates where the coin was made. This small detail might seem insignificant at first, but for collectors it provides an important clue about the coin's origin. Many examples of this nickel spent decades moving through circulation. Over time, they developed the marks and signs of use that collectors refer to as circulated condition. Scratches, worn edges, softened details, and changes in color all tell the story of the coin's long journey through countless exchanges between people. One particularly interesting feature sometimes seen on older nickels is a darker tone that develops over time. In some cases, the coin may appear almost black due to years of exposure to air, moisture, and handling. This dark circulated appearance gives the coin a distinctive character that immediately signals its age and long history in circulation. Collectors often appreciate these natural signs of aging because they show that the coin truly lived through decades of everyday use. Each mark and change in color becomes a small piece of the coin's personal history. It may have traveled through busy city streets, quiet rural towns, or even crossed the country in someone's pocket. The excitement of coin collecting often begins with the possibility that something rare might be hiding in plain sight. A nickel sitting unnoticed in a jar of spare change might appear ordinary, yet experienced collectors know that careful examination can reveal surprising details that make a coin far more interesting than expected. One of the first things collectors study on a Jefferson nickel is the sharpness of the design. Over time, circulation can wear down the fine details on Jefferson's hair and the architectural lines of Monticello. However, some coins retain more detail than others, and those pieces often attract greater attention from collectors. The reverse side of the coin, showing the Monticello building, is particularly important when evaluating Jefferson nickels. Collectors frequently examine the steps leading up to the building. When these steps remain clearly defined, the coin may be considered a stronger example within the series. Even coins that appear dark or black from circulation can still show strong underlying details. When light reflects across the surface of the coin, collectors sometimes notice that the original design features remain surprisingly sharp despite years of use. The material used to produce Jefferson nickels also contributes to their durability. These coins are made from a blend of copper and nickel, creating a sturdy alloy capable of surviving many years of handling and circulation. This durability explains why so many examples from the 1970s still exist today. During the 1970s, the United States was experiencing significant cultural and economic changes. Coins from that era quietly witnessed everyday life as people navigated shifting trends, new technologies, and evolving lifestyles. Each nickel from 1974 carries a silent connection to that moment in history. For collectors, the thrill often comes from the search itself. Looking through coin rolls, inherited collections, or jars of spare change can feel like exploring a hidden world of history and potential discoveries. Every coin examined holds the possibility of revealing something unexpected. Sometimes collectors discover unusual characteristics in coins that make them stand out. These features might include striking differences, minor minting irregularities, or distinctive surfaces created during production. Even small variations can capture the interest of serious numismatists. Because millions of Jefferson nickels were produced, the majority remain common. However, certain examples become desirable due to exceptional preservation or unusual characteristics. These coins remind collectors that rarity is not always about age alone, but also about unique qualities. The dark circulated color seen on some 1974 nickels often sparks curiosity among collectors. While the tone may appear simple at first glance, careful cleaning or lighting can reveal layers of detail hidden beneath the surface. Many experienced collectors recommend never cleaning coins aggressively. Cleaning can damage the surface and remove the natural patina that forms over time. In the world of coin collecting, originality is often valued far more than artificial brightness. Another fascinating part of the hobby is learning how coins were manufactured. The minting process involves powerful presses striking blank metal discs with engraved dies. Even with advanced machinery, small variations can occur, creating coins that differ slightly from one another. These variations are part of what makes coin collecting so engaging. Two coins produced in the same year and at the same mint can still look quite different after decades of circulation and storage. Collectors often gather Jefferson nickels as part of a long-running series that began in 1938. Even a small 5-cent coin can achieve astonishing attention in the collector market. Next up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1995 with the D mint mark. At first glance, this coin may appear simple and worn, perhaps slightly dark and dirty from years of circulation, yet collectors know that sometimes the most overlooked coins can hold surprising importance. When the 1995 Jefferson nickel was first produced, it entered circulation during a time when coins were still an essential part of everyday transactions. People used nickels for small purchases, vending machines, public telephones, and countless routine payments. These coins moved rapidly through the economy, often changing hands many times in a single day. The design of the Jefferson nickel has remained one of the most familiar images in American currency for generations. The front of the coin proudly displays the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and a central figure in the nation's early history. His thoughtful expression symbolizes leadership, intellect, and the vision that helped shape the United States. On the reverse side of the coin appears the detailed image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. The building's elegant architecture stands at the center of the design, representing not only Jefferson's personal residence but also his passion for design, science, and culture. For coin collectors, this iconic image carries both artistic beauty and historical meaning. The presence of the D mint mark on a Jefferson nickel indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Located in Colorado, the Denver Mint has produced billions of coins for circulation over the decades. The small letter D located near the date serves as a tiny signature of the mint where the coin was created. During 1995, millions of Jefferson nickels were struck at the Denver Mint and released into circulation. Because of the large production numbers, most of these coins were used heavily in everyday transactions. Over time, they developed the familiar signs of wear that collectors describe as circulated condition. A circulated coin often shows small scratches, faded design details, and edges softened by years of use. These marks are not flaws in the eyes of many collectors, but rather evidence of the coin's long journey through daily life. Each mark represents a moment when the coin passed from one person to another. Some 1995 nickels developed a darker or dirty appearance as they aged. Exposure to moisture, air, and constant handling can change the surface color of a coin over time. This natural toning sometimes creates a dull or dusty look that makes the coin appear older than it actually is. While many people might overlook a dirty or worn nickel, collectors often see something more interesting. Beneath the layer of wear and discoloration, the original design features may still remain visible. Careful lighting and magnification can reveal surprising details that are easy to miss at first glance. The Jefferson nickel series has been produced since 1938, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Over the decades, collectors have studied these coins closely, searching for rare varieties, unusual strikes, and exceptional examples. One area collectors frequently examine is the sharpness of the design. Jefferson's hair, facial features, and the lettering around the rim provide important clues about the coin's condition. The clearer and sharper these elements remain, the more desirable the coin may become. The reverse side of the coin also holds important details. The Monticello building includes columns, windows, and steps that can sometimes remain surprisingly well preserved even on circulated coins. When these elements appear clearly defined, collectors become especially interested. The steps leading up to Monticello are particularly important to many Jefferson nickel collectors. Coins where these steps appear fully visible and sharply struck are often considered more desirable within the series. Achieving this level of detail during the minting process was not always easy. The alloy used in Jefferson nickels is a mixture of copper and nickel. This durable combination gives the coin its silver-colored appearance and helps it survive decades of handling without completely losing its design. Because of this durability, many nickels from the 1990s still exist today. For collectors, the excitement often lies in the possibility of discovery. Searching through jars of spare change or bank coin rolls can sometimes reveal interesting coins hiding in plain sight. A nickel that once seemed ordinary might suddenly reveal features that make it far more intriguing. Many collectors remember the first time they discovered a coin that seemed different from the others. Perhaps the strike was sharper, the color unusual, or the details more pronounced. Moments like these often inspire people to continue exploring the hobby. Coin collecting connects people with history in a unique and tangible way. A simple 5-cent coin may have traveled through supermarkets, restaurants, bus stations, and countless pockets before finally being noticed by a curious collector. The 1995 Jefferson nickel carries the story of the modern era. It was minted during a time when technology was rapidly advancing and the world was becoming more connected. Yet even in that changing world, coins continued to play their traditional role in everyday life. Collectors often enjoy assembling full sets of Jefferson nickels, searching for each date and mint mark combination. Completing such a set requires patience, careful observation, and sometimes a bit of luck. As collectors examine their coins, they often use magnifying tools and bright lighting to study the smallest details. These tools can reveal subtle differences that might otherwise remain invisible to the naked eye. Sometimes a coin that appears dirty or ordinary at first glance turns out to be something much more interesting. Slight variations in strike quality, alignment, or surface texture can make a coin stand out among thousands of others. Because millions of Jefferson nickels were minted, most examples remain common and inexpensive. However, the collector market is always searching for exceptional pieces that show unusual qualities or remarkable preservation. Stories occasionally appear of collectors discovering valuable coins in everyday circulation. These discoveries remind people that hidden treasures can still exist in the most unexpected places. Even a nickel resting quietly in a drawer for decades might hold a story waiting to be discovered. The journey of that coin through time adds to its charm and mystery. Coin shows, online auctions, and collector communities allow enthusiasts to share their discoveries and learn from one another. These gatherings help keep the hobby alive and introduce new generations to the excitement of numismatics. The Jefferson nickel series continues to attract collectors because of its long history and consistent design. Each coin adds another chapter to the story of American currency. A 1995 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark and a dirty circulated surface might seem simple at first, but its history and potential value make it worth a closer look. Collectors understand that value in the coin world depends on rarity, demand, and condition. When the right combination of factors appears, patience. Next up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1978, a coin that once quietly traveled through everyday pockets and cash registers. At first glance, it appears to be nothing more than an ordinary nickel, yet collectors know that even common-looking coins can carry hidden significance waiting to be discovered. When the 1978 Jefferson nickel was first released, it became part of daily life across the United States. People used these coins to make small purchases, pay for public telephones, buy snacks from vending machines, or simply receive them as change at local shops. Millions of these nickels moved through circulation, becoming a familiar part of everyday transactions. The design of the Jefferson nickel is one of the most recognizable in American coinage. On the front of the coin appears the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and one of the most influential figures in the nation's early history. His calm expression reflects wisdom and leadership, reminding collectors of the important role he played in shaping the country. On the reverse side of the coin stands the famous Monticello building, Jefferson's historic home located in Virginia. The detailed architecture of the building represents Jefferson's passion for design and knowledge. For collectors, the image of Monticello is not just decoration but a powerful symbol of American heritage. The 1978 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. For many years the Philadelphia Mint struck coins without placing a visible mint mark on them. Because of this tradition, the absence of a letter near the date tells collectors that the coin originated from Philadelphia. During that year, the Mint produced a large number of Jefferson nickels to meet the needs of everyday commerce. These coins entered circulation quickly and were used by millions of people across the country. Most examples spent many years being exchanged in stores, restaurants, buses, and countless other places. Over time, the majority of these nickels developed signs of wear from constant handling. However, some coins managed to survive in far better condition than others. These better preserved pieces often attract the attention of collectors because they reveal more of the original design details. A coin described as extra fine condition usually shows only moderate signs of wear. The design details remain clear and well defined, though slight smoothing may appear on the highest points of the design. For a coin that spent time in circulation, maintaining this level of detail can be quite impressive. The color of a circulated coin can also tell an interesting story. Jefferson nickels are made from a durable mixture of copper and nickel, giving them their familiar silver tone. Over time, exposure to air and handling can slightly change the surface appearance, sometimes creating soft shades of gray or light toning. Collectors often examine the portrait of Jefferson very carefully. The details of his hair, facial lines, and the lettering around the edge can reveal how much wear the coin has experienced. On an extra fine coin, these elements usually remain visible and attractive. The reverse side of the coin provides another important area for evaluation. The Monticello building contains columns, windows, and steps that can show varying levels of clarity depending on the quality of the strike and the amount of wear the coin has experienced. One feature that many collectors focus on is the steps leading up to Monticello. When these steps appear clear and well defined, the coin may be considered a stronger example within the Jefferson nickel series. Even partial visibility of these steps can add to a coin's appeal. The excitement of coin collecting often comes from the possibility of finding something special among ordinary coins. A person sorting through spare change might discover a nickel that looks slightly different from the rest. That moment of curiosity often leads to a closer examination. Many collectors remember the first time they found a coin that stood out from the others. Perhaps the coin looked brighter, sharper, or simply more interesting. That simple discovery can spark a lifelong interest in numismatics. The Jefferson nickel series has been produced since 1938, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Because of this long production period, collectors have many different dates and varieties to explore. Coins from the 1970s represent a fascinating period in American history. The country was experiencing cultural shifts, technological growth, and economic changes. Every coin from that era quietly witnessed the everyday lives of the people who used it. Holding a 1978 nickel can feel like holding a small piece of that time. The coin may have passed through countless hands, traveled across cities and states, and been part of thousands of everyday moments. Collectors often enjoy the process of searching for coins in bankrolls or old collections. The idea that a valuable or interesting coin might be hiding in plain sight adds excitement to the hobby. Each coin examined carries a sense of possibility. Magnifying tools and bright lighting are commonly used by collectors when studying coins. These tools allow them to see tiny details that are difficult to notice with the naked eye. Even a small feature can make a big difference in the collector market. Sometimes a coin's value increases because of subtle differences created during the minting process. Slight variations in the dies used to strike the coin can produce features that attract attention from experienced collectors. The condition of a coin also plays a major role in determining its desirability. Coins that preserve more of their original details are often far more appealing to collectors than heavily worn examples. For this reason, An extra-fine 1978 Jefferson nickel can become an interesting piece within a collection. The remaining sharpness of its design allows collectors to appreciate the craftsmanship involved in its creation. Over the years, collectors have studied Jefferson nickels carefully, documenting varieties and unusual examples that occasionally appear in the marketplace. These discoveries keep the hobby active and constantly evolving. Coin shows, auctions, and online collector communities allow enthusiasts from around the world to share information and discuss rare finds. These connections help collectors learn more about the coins they treasure. Stories of valuable coins discovered in ordinary places continue to inspire new collectors. Someone might find an interesting nickel in a jar of spare change or tucked away in an old drawer. Moments like these remind people that history often hides in everyday objects. A coin that once seemed insignificant can suddenly become the focus of curiosity and excitement. The Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1978 without a mint mark remains a small but meaningful part of the broader Jefferson nickel series. Its connection to American history and daily life makes it fascinating to collectors. Many people overlook nickels because they seem so common, yet experienced collectors know that careful attention can reveal surprising details. Even coins that circulated for years may still hold hidden value. This sense of mystery keeps collectors examining coins with patience and curiosity. Tomorrow. Next up. The Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1990 with a P mint mark. At first it may look like an ordinary nickel that has spent years in circulation, showing a bit of wear and a slightly softened surface. Yet collectors know that every coin carries a history, and sometimes that history hides surprising value. When the 1990 Jefferson nickel was first released, it quietly entered the everyday flow of American commerce. People received these coins in grocery stores, vending machines, bus stations, and countless other places. At the time, no one stopped to imagine that decades later collectors would study these same coins with careful attention. The design of the Jefferson nickel has been a familiar part of American currency for many generations. The front of the coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential leaders in the early history of the United States. His calm and thoughtful expression reflects the intellectual spirit that helped shape the nation's founding ideals. On the reverse side of the coin stands the elegant image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home located in Virginia. The building's distinctive dome and symmetrical architecture represent Jefferson's deep interest in design, science, and classical beauty. For collectors, this design is more than decoration. It is a small artistic tribute to American history. The 1990 nickel marked an interesting moment in the Jefferson nickel series. By this time, the design had already been in production for more than 50 years. Generations of Americans had used these coins in everyday life, making them one of the most familiar pieces of currency in the country. The presence of the P mint mark on this coin indicates that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Beginning in 1980, the Philadelphia Mint started adding the letter P to many of its coins. This small letter, located near the date, helps collectors identify exactly where the coin was struck. During 1990, the Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of Jefferson nickels to meet the needs of circulation. These coins were distributed across the country, quickly becoming part of everyday transactions. Most of them spent years moving through countless hands. As coins circulate, they naturally begin to show signs of wear. A coin described as being in very fine condition still retains most of its design details but shows moderate signs of circulation. The highest points of the design may appear slightly smooth, yet the overall image remains clearly visible. For the Jefferson nickel, collectors often begin their examination with the portrait of Jefferson. The details of his hair, the lines of his face, and the surrounding lettering all provide clues about how much wear the coin has experienced over time. Even after years of circulation, a very fine coin can still display strong visual appeal. The design remains clear enough to appreciate the craftsmanship that went into creating the coin, while the light wear reminds collectors of the coin's journey through history. Turning the coin over reveals the detailed image of Monticello. This famous building sits proudly in the center of the reverse design, surrounded by inscriptions that identify the denomination and the country of origin. Collectors pay close attention to the architectural features of Monticello. The columns, roofline, and small windows provide important details when evaluating the coin's condition. On a very fine example, these elements are still clearly recognizable. One particularly interesting detail on Jefferson nickels is the set of steps leading up to the Monticello building. On coins with stronger strikes and less wear, these steps can appear well defined. Collectors often search for examples where these lines remain visible. The alloy used to produce Jefferson nickels is a combination of copper and nickel. This durable mixture gives the coin its familiar silver-colored appearance and allows it to withstand many years of circulation. Because of this strong metal composition, many nickels from the 1990s still survive today in collectible condition. Some remain hidden in coin jars, drawers, or forgotten collections waiting to be rediscovered. The hobby of coin collecting thrives on curiosity and patience. Many collectors spend hours examining coins under bright lights or magnifying lenses, searching for small differences that might reveal something special. Even a small detail can make a coin more interesting to collectors. Slight variations in strike quality, surface texture, or preservation can transform an ordinary coin into a noteworthy piece. The 1990 Jefferson nickel also represents a moment in relatively modern history. At that time, the United States was entering a decade of rapid technological growth and global change. Coins from that era quietly witnessed the everyday lives of millions of people. Every circulated coin carries a silent story of where it might have traveled. A single nickel might have passed through restaurants, convenience stores, parking meters, and pockets across different cities before finally landing in a collector's hands. Collectors often enjoy imagining the journeys these coins have taken. Though the coin itself cannot speak, its worn edges and softened details hint at the decades of movement it experienced. The Jefferson nickel series remains popular among collectors because it combines accessibility with historical depth. Many people begin their collecting journey by saving interesting nickels they encounter in daily change. As collectors learn more about the series, they begin to notice differences between mint marks, dates, and conditions. This knowledge transforms ordinary pocket change into a fascinating field of discovery. Coin shows and online collector groups allow enthusiasts to share their finds and discuss unusual coins. Through these communities, collectors exchange knowledge that helps others recognize valuable pieces. Stories occasionally emerge of people discovering rare coins in everyday circulation. These discoveries remind collectors that hidden treasures can still exist in the most ordinary places. Even a coin that appears common may hold features that make it unique. This possibility encourages collectors to study every coin carefully before dismissing it as ordinary. The 1990 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark in very fine condition represents one small piece of this larger collecting world. Its modest appearance hides a deeper connection to history and craftsmanship. Many collectors keep older coins like this as part of date and mint mark sets that document the long history of American coinage. Each coin fills an important place within that story. Over time, certain examples of Jefferson nickels have surprised the collecting community by reaching remarkable values. These moments capture the imagination of collectors everywhere. They remind people that value in the coin world is shaped by rarity, condition, and collector demand. When these elements combine in just the right way, even a simple 5-cent coin can achieve extraordinary attention. Because of this possibility, collectors continue searching through coins with enthusiasm and patience, hoping to discover something truly special.